So you've built an incredible product, you've sold it to customers, and now it's time for you to figure out how to do customer onboarding. How do you make sure that you optimize this process so as many people benefit from this incredible product that you've already built and sold? Well, that's what we're going to be tackling today. We're going to be answering one of the top questions from founders in our community about how to nail customer onboarding. Without further ado, let's dive right on it. Hi, everyone. My name is Shuo Chen. I am a former founder, now investing in founders and teaching founders at Berkeley and Stanford. I'm also one of the board members here at Decode, the largest tech and entrepreneurship community co-hosted between Berkeley and Stanford. And today we'll be answering the top founder question we got this week, which is all around how to nail customer onboarding. So we'll be diving into the first tactic for today. So first tactic for delivering exceptional onboarding experience for your customers is really just knowing your customer. There's a lot more nuance to knowing your customer, as you can imagine. You want to start by just mapping out the organizational chart. Help yourself and your team understand what are the key roles that you need to understand as you're onboarding these users. You want to also gauge each group's familiarity with the tools that you're building. You want to target a book 15-minute or so pre-calls with key team leads and stakeholders to just help uncover the 2 to 3 real use cases per role and really understand each of their pain points. Because even if you've sold to this massive, incredible Fortune 500 company, it's going to take time for these individuals to actually adopt and learn how to use your product. So this is why it's so important to understand everything from organizational charts to hopping onto early calls. And ultimately, the goal of this entire process is to help you get to unique needs and understanding of your customer's workflow. You want to ask questions like, what are you working on right now? What or who kicked off this project? Is that typically how requests comes in, or is there a different workflow for submitting requests and features? Who else worked on getting this project? What was their role, and what was the drive in making sure that people use this product? What's the goal of using this product? And once you've completed your part of onboarding, who do you then pass it on to in the workflow? And how do you tell or assess that this whole workflow is complete? And at the end, how do you know it was successful? So we'll hyperlink a chart below to help you understand just basic business processes, but you want to ask these questions to make sure you understand where in your customer's workflow you sit in to make sure you help them be as successful in onboarding and using your product as much as possible. And that leads us into our second tactic for today, which is how do you prepare for onboarding before onboarding even begins? You want to start with things like sending a pre-onboarding checklist with things like details for how to create user accounts, share demo materials for how users should be clicking on each button so that you provide more clarity on what to expect in this onboarding experience. You also want to make sure to ask your users to create accounts before the onboarding session. You want to set up a dedicated live support room to assist people who haven't done the account creation first step so that they get real-time help with any questions that might come up in this process. Of course, you might want to prepare training environments so that you have more tailored workflows, real content and deliverables, or even role-specific prompts, whatever it is for your specific product to help generate your desired customer outputs so you can show people a demo of this is what a successful use case of this product looks like. And of course, you want to equip all these internal trainers within your own customer's company with team-specific data, relevant materials, and any other any other tools they might need, so that internally within the company of your customers, they can already help you answer and facilitate any of the questions during this onboarding process. And last tip for today, the third tactical tip, is you want to perhaps consider hosting breakout sessions for just very hands-on learning and training sessions. So it's one thing to have already built this incredible product that hopefully speaks for itself, and you have already sold this to this customer, but you want to make sure that everybody within your customer company is actually using the product. And in order to do so, the more breakout sessions that you can provide, the more real-time support your customers get, the better prepared they are to actually use and adopt your product. So you want to typically segment this by functional teams. So you might want to onboard content teams separately from the sales team, separately from the product team, assuming that your product is a horizontal product that involves multiple teams. But perhaps you need to segment this vertically even more carefully based on geographic region or however the org chart of your customer's company works. And you want to learn more about each team, how they work, where they work. And generally speaking, for these breakout sessions, they don't need to be incredibly long. You want to limit them to only about 30 to 45 minutes each time with 4 or fewer people. So you have a couple of key stakeholders who understand how to use your product, but you're not managing way too many people on this call for it to turn chaotic. And generally speaking, you want to have users try to create their accounts, set up their first project, start to navigate the app or the product that you've built, and just start to explore some key features that are critical to really being able to experience a value. So for example, if your product is all about giving them a prompt library for them to find the most effective AI prompts that others within the company have used, you want to make sure to design a breakout session where just within that short 30 to 45-minute session, they understand how to create a prompt, how to share a prompt, and how to find others' highest valued, highest voted prompts. And of course, during this whole process, you're providing live support to help guide your users to understand how to use this product and remove any friction in real time. So hopefully by the end of this process, as you've onboarded your customers, they're excited and ready to use this product and feel confident in using this product on a day-to-day basis. With that, if you want to learn more about other traps to avoid in this process or other tools to leverage, please feel free to click the hyperlink below to check out our full newsletter. This is a guest post from an incredible individual in our community, and I think you'll enjoy reading that more. With that, if you have any other questions you want us to tackle in a future weekly session, please feel free to send that question our way either via comment here below the video or email us directly or reach out on LinkedIn. With that, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Take care.